Okay. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Today is one of our Be Informed series. It's called What Does It Look Like to Be a Volunteer with Tampa Bay IIBA? And this may not take the whole hour. It depends on how many questions y'all have, but I encourage you to ask questions. Uh, it's right now scheduled from 5 to 6, but it may not take quite that long. Let's get started. Let me start with my introduction. My name is Thea Soren. I'm the president of this chapter. I'm currently also the vice president of career and professional development for the chapter. That's going to change at the beginning of this next year. And I got to help contribute to the body of knowledge, chapters 9, 10, and the glossary. And I also started the Force Multiplier movement. I'm in the Elevate group with Angela Wick. I helped her start it and a few other things. But you're here to find out what does it take to be a volunteer with us. So I'm going to stop doing the formal presentation. I'm going to show you a spreadsheet that we've been working on. We have things we haven't figured out yet, and maybe you can help us figure it out. But we do have a few things here. Let me close that out. And I'm going to go to this spreadsheet right here. Um, I wish I had a pretty Kanban for you. We haven't gotten there yet. We're on our way. Um, but let me give you a little bit of background first. Whenever I became president of this chapter, mid last year in 2024, we didn't have a bank account. We had just a few people on the board, and most of them were like board members at large, and we didn't know what we were doing. We were trying to figure it out. We didn't know our technology. We had years and years of old files in our Google Drive from previous boards. We had some technology that the IBA had provided to us, and so we had to figure it out. Since then, we've done a whole lot. And if you attend the 7 to 8 o'clock meeting today, you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff that we've done. But what we're trying to do now is make it even better. So this is the list of things that I've come up with. Do y'all want me to make this bigger? Can you read it okay? This is the most important column. Okay, I see one
Good.
thumb up. Okay, very good. Okay, so we believe that we're going to start a monthly newsletter. The monthly newsletter is going to go to the people who are members of the chapter because we don't have permission to send out to people who are not members of our chapter. The purpose of the newsletter is going to say, okay, these are resources that are available to you. Here's news that you need to know, and here's what's coming up this next month. And we don't want to make it super long. We want to make it, a quick read where people can go, okay, I got the update. But we need to put it together on a regular basis. So we have an editorial committee. We have a couple of people who are committed to that. We could probably use a few more people on that. We'd like to put this out every month on the 25th, so people will have it for the following month. And so that's going to take a couple of people working together on a regular basis for that. All of these we're going to put on a Kanban board, and those people who choose to be volunteers can choose what you want to work on. I encourage you to pick maybe two things that you want to work on, because if you're like me, I raise my hand at everything. It's like I can help, and I end up doing so many things that maybe I don't do something the very best. So I encourage you to start with one or two things and see if they fit. And you might try something you've never done before and find out it doesn't fit. So you can move to something different. The next thing is we have spotlight articles for board members, volunteers, participants, and we want to publish those weekly. I've gotten 3 of those out so far. Right now, I'm waiting for a couple of people to give me their input so I can do that for them. And basically, what it is an article on LinkedIn that basically says this is who this person is, this is what they've accomplished, this is what they're looking to do. Just a marketing piece for that person. And sometimes it's an appreciation for what they've done for our chapter, and sometimes it's we've seen some really impressive stuff with this person. Other people need to know. So we'd like to do that. That's probably going to be the editorial committee too. Right now, I'm the only one doing it, and I want to get that out on Mondays. Then we want to formalize the recognition protocols. How to say, hey, board member, you've been serving for 2 years. Let's acknowledge you. Hey, volunteer, you've put in 10 hours of work. You've done these things that are beneficial. We want to acknowledge you. Oh, I gotta let other people in here. Let me admit, and Kasi, if you don't mind, I'm going to make you a co-host so that you can do this also.
Sure.
And Sarita, I'm going to do the same for you.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we want to acknowledge people's contributions. And it's not that we haven't said thank you before, but we haven't done anything formal. Like sometimes a certificate is appropriate, or sometimes a letter of recommendation or recognition is appropriate. We need to make that a little bit more procedural, create processes around it. The next thing I want to do is I'm currently working with 12 different chapters around the world, and I'm wanting to strengthen that a little bit. Right now, we've got some opportunities with IIBA chapters, and I want to be sure that we're taking good care of our partners and see if there's something we need from them as well. I probably need a partner to work on this with that is an IIBA member. Then we have a couple of contact things. We want to contact people before their IIBA membership expires to say, hey, in case you didn't know, we want to let you know. Because there are awards, there's badges you can get for being a constant IIBA member for, 5 years or 10 years or whatever. And if you let it expire and there's a lapse, you can't get that. And if you want to stay with the IIBA and you've just overlooked it, we want to let you know. Also, contact after they expire. It's like if you didn't know, we want to just help you with that. Contact after they get a certificate and when they earn a certification. And that needs to be like within 2 days. And we don't have a way to automatically monitor that list. We can see the list, but we don't have any way to like get an email notification when somebody's name is added. So that's going to take somebody actually watching the list on almost a daily basis. Um, the next one is contact before last meeting of the year and before the first meeting of the year to say, hey, don't forget we're doing this. We have from Thanksgiving through the end of the year off, and then we have meetings on January 1st coming up. Actually, we have two meetings on January 1st coming up, and we want to remind people about that. Um, we'd like to document member onboarding. We haven't documented those processes. And as BAs, I'm like embarrassed and shocked and dismayed that we haven't documented them. But we've just kind of been flying by the seat of our pants trying to get wheels under everything. I'd like it to be documented. I'd like it to be measurable. I'd like us to be able to be sure that we are being clear and concise and approaching each person where they need to be approached at. Um, so I'm thinking the VP of membership's going to need probably two volunteers to help him just say, okay, I'm a new member. This is what I experienced. This is what I wish were different. Kind of like a retrospective on that. Do I have any questions so far? And if y'all don't mind coming off of mute and coming on camera, I'd really rather this be a conversation rather than me talking at you. Thank you, Sarita. So does anyone have any questions? Hey, Carol. Thank you. So do you understand what I'm trying to do so far? Mhm. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. We've got the SDLC simulation workshop in 2026. We have ideas. Part of it's from what happened in 2025. We did a really good job. We were very effective. We could do some things better. And we want to make it the best it can be for not only the participants, but also for the people who are running it and doing the mentoring. So we want to have 3 or 4 people help Esther, who's going to be the Vice President of Training and Professional Development for that. Uh, that's probably going to be, I'm going to put that in Q2 instead of Q3 because we think we're going to have some pre-meetings support to get people that don't know anything up to speed a little bit. Um, and so we need to start that a little earlier than that. Uh, the next thing is recognition of speakers specifically. That's a very different kind of recognition than volunteers or, board members. We want to be sure that every single time somebody gives us a presentation, we give them something that says, thank you for doing this. Not that that's what they want. Nobody's even asked for it, but I think it's an important way to honor them. Um, and so we want to formalize that a little bit. Then there's formalize contributor recognition for things like to increase marketing because we want to celebrate contributions and it's going to boost retention. Say for instance, somebody really spoke up during a meeting and gave us, they interacted and stuff. We want to say thank you for that because that's really important for us. The next thing is to send the speaker a speaker's link 5 days before the event and 60 days before the event so that just to be sure that they have it and they've got peace of mind that they can get directly into the event. Post the new event on our website 60 days prior to the event. Best practices have come out to say that we need to be having it up there 60 days ahead of time so people can plan. And so that's what we're striving to do. Uh, one of the things that we have to do, though, is be able to obtain the speaker and the market research. I mean, the market information to market the event of, say 70 days before the event. And right now, I am needing to book January, February, and March. So I see a domino thing happening. Yes, Carol.
I'll do one of them, but the later the better. We'll figure out a topic.
Okay, we'll figure out a topic. So do you want to speak?
Yeah,
Okay.
I told you I would. I just haven't gotten an idea hitting me over the head yet.
Well, I tell you what, before we finish this meeting, I'll show you, we have got categories.
Okay.
Esther's created categories and I love her idea, but you can look at these and maybe that'll hit you a topic, so you can figure one out. But I appreciate that you want to speak. Let me just drop your name over here so I'll remember. Okay, creating the marketing image 65 days before each event. Get the speaker's bio and stuff 67 days before the event, and then review the speaker intake forms. I created speaker intake forms on our website. I've got one form for speakers, I've got one form for volunteers, and I have a third form, and it's actually for students who are taking at least 12 hours. If they're interested in joining the Tampa Bay IIBA, we will put them through kind of an application process and we will pick 5 in January that we're going to pay for their student membership to the IIBA and at the same time give them a mentor so that they've got somebody to walk alongside of them for that first year. So that's the intake form I'm talking about there. We need to refresh the onboarding materials for volunteers and volunteers as they leave. What do they need to turn over? Do we need to take them out of a Google Drive? Do we need to whatever? So what are they coming in as? And then whenever they leave, what do we need to do? So we need to get all that documented. We want to have a quarterly volunteer intake and renewal with renewal based options. So you volunteer for a quarter at a time as a volunteer. Board members are board members for a year. Unless they're a vice president, then they're 2 years. And I'll go more on that. But for right now, for volunteers, we want it to be a quarterly. We're bringing in this quarter's volunteers, and here's the current projects that are available. Any questions? Okay, I'll keep going. We want to build a dashboard that shows volunteer hours, attendance, renewal cycles so that we're not trying to run a bunch of spreadsheets. Who's doing what, who's in which project, and that way people on the board can look at it and go, okay, we can see this person is consistent, they're reliable, they're showing up, and they're being productive. Let's talk to them about maybe being a board member at large. but we need to keep track of everything before and not just do it based upon our gut feeling or our memory. Um, I may have said this one already up there. I'm going to skip that one. Let's go to this one. We want to create a Google form to get feedback on for the events. Um, and I have two purposes for this. One is we've got folks that are going to be watching our events only by recording. And then we have folks that watch our events in person. And I want to identify how they're watching our events because I think it's going to come off differently between those two things. Uh, we've got an entire section of folks that live in Nigeria and Ghana that are going to be watching and recording, and then they're going to get together and talk about it, specifically our CBAP prep courses. And so that way they're going to be creating a community because asking them to be up at 1 o'clock in the morning just to be able to attend the CBAP is not fair. It doesn't matter what time it is here, it's what time it is there. So I'm trying to make it more palatable for them, but I still need the feedback. Not, I feel like we did a pretty good job, or I feel like everybody likes those slides. I've discovered that even my board doesn't listen to my slides sometimes. Um, I'd been presenting the new org chart for probably 3 months, that means it's 12 meetings at least. And one of my boards said, "Hey, I have an idea of an org chart," and they created a totally new one. And it's like, did you not like the one I had? I mean, and she's like, "Oh, you have one?" I'm like, so I want to be sure that what I'm presenting is effective, informative, and useful. So that is the reason for the Google form. Um, we are going to start letting the board members take turns facilitating our meetings, not me doing it every single time. And in that case, they also have to update the Canva so that it has their words in it. It has the things that they want to talk about in it. And so that's going to have to be an event that they take on 5 days before our weekly meeting. All of those things I said we're going to do, 70 days, 67 days, etc. Somebody needs to monitor all that. And Sarita, I think that may fall in under you if you want it. Um, just to keep, has this been done? And if we have a Kanban board that's well laid out, it's going to be very visible if something isn't done on time. But we might need somebody to raise a flag to say, hey, this hasn't been done. What do we need to do to get it done? But Sarita, I'm not volunteering you. I'm just saying we kind of talked about it before, but you can decide if you want to take that on and if you want a backup or another volunteer. Um, then we've got some things in our web pages. The SDLC Experience Workshop, we added several pages to the BA Force Multiplier website, and this is, do the links go in the correct places? Is this laid out properly? Are the things matched properly? Just to have somebody do a quality check on each of these team 1 through 6 and the main page. And then I need to find somebody who understands SEO and tags and stuff for YouTube because we've got 204 videos out there. I don't know tags. That's not my thing that I know, but somebody knows it. And if I can find a couple of volunteers who know it, they can go through and tell me, you need to add this or you need to add a description here or whatever. My goal in all of this, my goal in applying for the award, my goal for everything is if people know we're doing a good job and they can find us, we can help them. But that's what I'm trying to get done here. And I really appreciate those folks that have come alongside of me to help me raise up our community. One of the things I actually had a discussion with a BA leader today. Volunteering for the IIBA gives you credibility that you can't get in many other ways because the IIBA is the governing body for business analysis. And if you can list that you're a volunteer or a board member or, a vice president or whatever, it gives you a lot more credibility than you would have otherwise. So I want to give people the opportunity to be able to volunteer and be able to lift up our community at the same time. So I'm going to stop now and open it up for questions. Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. We are we have quarterly board meetings coming up this next year. So the board's going to meet quarterly. Volunteers, I think, are going to meet probably monthly, just with the person or people that they're working with. And then we're going to have a Slack channel to be able to communicate, would you do this? Have you checked this? So we have a easy way to be able to talk to each other and not lose touch in between. I'm not trying to add a whole lot of burden to anybody's plates. I want to make it where it's easy for people to communicate and get things accomplished. So now I'm going to stop. Tell me your questions and comments, please.
Mhm.
Either I
That's
explained
that's it's
really
quite a
well.
list.
It is quite a list, and some of it is like Q4 and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, none of this is stuff that we have now. So if we have to live without it for a little while longer, okay. Some of it has more benefit than others, and some of it's going to be easy to do. It just needs somebody to ramrod it.
Mhm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask that if you want to volunteer and you're not on my board, or if you want to speak, that you fill out the form that's on the webpage.
Okay.
The form for speaker is the basic stuff that you would provide for as a speaker anyway, your headshot, your bio, your synopsis, things like that. And oh, I'm sorry, there was that one other thing I was going to show you. Let me jump there. We were going to talk about the um, the schedule. Here's the schedule. So next year, the first week is going to be BA games or soft skills. Second is going to be real BA life, a real BA talking about this is a project I was on, really what it's like to be a business analyst. Week 3 is going to be technical skills or AI, and I get to tell y'all that we are exploring working with Purdue University in their AI capstone project and talking to C-level executives and having them come and show us what they're doing with AI in their organizations or for their capstone project. If there is a fourth week, we're going to have a business analysis skill, and that's something like sprint planning or product canvas, and we're going to walk through how to do it, kind of like a workshop. And then the last week of every month, we're going to bring a BA in with a true case study and have the group walk through it of so what's the root cause? What do we need, what questions do we need to ask? How do we organize this information and walk through it that way? So Carol and anybody else who wants to talk, you can pick one or more of the categories and I think I have them all identified on the speaker form. So you can identify, I think this one would fit into this category best. Um, and then we will get it booked. I do need a speaker for January 1st, but I can do that one if nobody else wants to. We can do facilitation games. So I'd like to spend just a minute talking about what is it like being a volunteer at with Tampa Bay, and I've got some people who are currently volunteers, and Carol, you have been a volunteer with us. Let me introduce some of these folks. Carol, you were a volunteer, not only helping us with you were kind of mentoring us as we had some of our meetings last year, but then when we had our SDLC workshop, you also came in and mentored a team and helped them cross the finish line successfully. And I appreciate that you bring not only real BA experience because you're currently a business analyst, but you also bring in your teaching background because you're teaching for, is it a university or a college?
University.
A
Bellini
university.
College of Artificial Intelligence, cybersecurity and computer science at University of South Florida.
That is a mouthful, and I'm so
It
glad that you're
is. It
bringing that
is.
all to us.
Yeah.
Um, so you've been a volunteer with us, and Sarita and Kasi are currently on our board of directors, both holding vice president's positions. Would any of y'all like to talk about what it's like to be a volunteer? What do you get out of it?
Definitely. Because I
Okay.
recently started, and it's not about doing as a weekly thing or the board at the large. It is like whole lot of information, whole lot of knowledge, whole lot of sessions, and being a volunteering that meeting with definitely the experienced people, and especially talking to Tia and discussing how we can progress. So I am thinking for the admin, which I am gonna help definitely trying to help organize some of the stuff for IIBA chapter, lots of networking. So I'm loving it. I'm really liking it.
Um,
Yeah,
I appreciate that so much.
thank you.
Sarita has brought a calm, persistent inquisitiveness to us. And I needed that because here I am, I'm bouncing everywhere trying to get all my stuff done. And she's like, well, wait a minute, we need this thing. Kasi, did you come on screen for a good reason or just because you want us to see your pretty face?
Both.
Oh, both. Okay.
I just wanted to add to what Sarita said really quickly. Um, personally, for me, is an opportunity to make an impact and also collaborating with the whole board. Um, One of the key thing, I'm discussing with Esther and Thea actually is how we can improve on tools and technology. So, um, definitely it's a journey and a really excited one. So I'd be more glad if anyone else here wanted to join. It would be really, really great. So that's all I wanted to say. Yeah.
Kasi has an interesting background with us. He came on, let's see, it was about 2.5 years ago, Kasi. I heard from you for the first time, and he says, would you mentor me?
Mhm.
And I'm like, sure, let's talk. And so we started talking, and he started attending our meetings. And eventually he just got a little bit more vocal and started, feeling confident enough to speak up and ask questions. And then he started attending some of our meetings as maybe I can help. I can do a little bit. And then Esther bullied him into, you need to help me with technology, and because she saw his aptitude for it. He is now our vice president of technology for 2026, and he is rocking it. So I'm really excited to see what we can get done. And he's very humble too. So you see that little pause he had. Um, there are things that we have to overcome, but we have so much opportunity. One of the things that Esther has done for us, being the vice president of technology for 2025, she was able to get us connected as a not-for-profit, and now we have technology free. We have so much technology free, and we don't have to pay for it anymore. And we're going to be able to have classes with our participants to say, "Hey, do you want to learn Jira? Hey, do you want to learn Slack?" And because will actually have it available for y'all to put your hands on instead of just talking about it in concepts. So it's really good to participate, but it's even better to volunteer. So we are at the half hour. Do we have any questions? And you're free to contact me directly on LinkedIn if you want to ask questions privately. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would just ask you for next steps is if you would share this information with us, like the information in the spread file.
Okay. What I'm going to do is once I get your application and I get your things like your email and stuff, I'm going to
Mhm.
put it in a Google Drive and it's going to be a Kanban board so that you're going to be able to see it more easily than just it being a spreadsheet.
Oh, okay. So we should receive an information after this meeting, right?
I I need you to go to here, let me show you this.
Mhm.
Can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. I need you to go to the Tampa Bay IIBA.org
Mhm.
and scroll all the way down to the bottom.
Mhm.
And it says interested in becoming a volunteer. Fill
Mhm.
out the volunteer application. And this is going to give me the information I need to be able to add you to a Google Drive and identify which types of things that I think that you would probably be good at. Because
Mhm.
the hard truth is we can't give everybody access to everything. We have to
Mhm.
give people access based upon how much we know them, how well they perform over a period of time. And I need to get this information from you to start. And then you'll get access to the Kanban board as soon as we make it. It's in the process right now. But
Mhm.
this is all it is. It's just a few questions.
Okay. Yeah, because I have some experience using LinkedIn, and I saw you needed someone for the newsletters, right?
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, that's why I would like to take a look.
Excellent. Excellent. I was actually approached by somebody yesterday who said that they help not-for-profits make their LinkedIn's better because they can tell
That's
what the
good.
algorithms say and how to best, what time is best to post something and what days are best and which types of posts work. And I'm looking forward to engaging that person, but I need people that can do the LinkedIn part too. So, um,
Mhm.
we have to see what we have whenever y'all fill out your applications, and then we can get started.
Yeah, I'll do. Okay, I'll do.
Okay.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate your question.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, so there is the application for volunteer, and then here is the speaker interest form. So if anybody wants to fill out a speaker interest form, we do want you to be reasonably good at speaking, where people can understand you. But, you know, we don't need you to be perfect. So speaker
Oh,
interest forms.
you're telling me I should do lessons from the DJ, huh?
No, ma'am. I think you're going to be just fine.
Oh,
Um,
I could do lessons from the DJ in no time flat. How do you communicate across electronics?
yes, ma'am. You could do that. Um, I see that we have Amal has just joined us. Amal had volunteered to help us with our SEO coordination. And so I'm looking forward to setting that up. Um, Amal, I'm going to let you watch the recording of this so you can see the spreadsheet that I showed earlier. And we will have
Sure.
that spreadsheet available to everyone in probably a week.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, does anyone have any questions? I want to provide all your information, but I don't want to keep you longer than you need to. Okay, if you are able to, I highly encourage you to join us at 7 o'clock Eastern. We're going to talk about all the stuff we've gotten done this last year, and I look forward to what we plan on doing this next year. And that's going to give you a much better idea of what we've been working with and then what you can participate in 2026. We have a lot of impact to report, but it's not something, I'm not going to report this every day. But reporting it is really important. And so you need to know what you're dealing with whenever you volunteer. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for wanting to lean in and help our community. As you may know, we don't care where you live. We don't care what you belong to or how much experience you have. If you want to help, we can put you to work to help our community. We are based out of Tampa Bay, Florida, but very few of us actually live there. We've got members that live all across Canada, the United States, Nigeria, the UK, Brazil, all over the place. We help everybody. So let's help everybody again. Okay? I hope to see you at 7 o'clock. I'll be joining a little bit early to get everything set up. If you want to join early and chat, that's absolutely fine. I will see you then. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See
See
you.
you soon. Bye.
Bye.